Applesauce.
And
Right.
there we go. The audio has started recording. I will not be screen recording with this one. I'll just be using pictures in post. Everybody say something so Craig can pick you up.
Hello, everyone.
It's already
There we,
picked me up.
there we
Excuse me.
go. That gas hole. We are going to have a little discussion because I have been thinking about this for a while, but I've had nowhere to really put this in a podcast. I am going to ask you, is there an objective hero in Werewolf the Apocalypse?
Yes.
Is there an objective hero in Werewolf the
Yeah,
Apocalypse?
out of the 13 tribes, are any of them the hero tribe?
Oh, the tribes. I don't know.
Yeah, because as we know, with
Glass
Werewolf the
Walkers.
Apocalypse and kind of sort of World of Darkness in general, all of these heroes have massive drawbacks to them, where you look on the surface until we start looking through your history and who you associate yourself with, and what exactly do you believe, and the water gets murky from here.
I always thought the real hero was Pentex.
Pentax, that's the propaganda machine. You've been watching too much Action Bill. I don't care if the toys are fun to play with. It's a terrible show. Remember, kids, anyone in your neighborhood could be a shape-shifting wolf. Buy our giant guns that shoot lawn darts.
I
You gotta
think
defend yourself.
I think the true heroes of Werewolf the Apocalypse are the Nuisha.
The Nuisha.
Yeah.
Tell us why you think it's the Nuisha.
Because, first of all, they're funny as hell. And also, they have not done any apocalyptic scenarios. They haven't genocided anybody. All they want to do is just laugh. And also, they have a very big plan of how to actually stop the worm.
What's the plan?
I'm not going to tell you, but I will tell you that it's going to be absolutely hilarious. And Many Skins, he's got something big. He's going to be surprising everybody with.
We got the Logan Paul and Jake Paul Nuisha, and they're going to prank the worm epically. And the worm is going to be so embarrassed that he's going to go into his basement and never come out.
It's not really much of a prank. It's just going to be a very, very funny situation.
And it's it's like the whole Emperor has no clothes kind of fairy tale. We're going to prank the worm and make the worm look like an idiot. And hopefully in doing so, make the worm realize that, yes, you are an idiot. You're trying to destroy the world and destroy yourself by proxy.
It's actually more of a scenario where, like, in anime when, like, the protagonist is fighting, like, the villain, and the villain is, like, so overly arrogant, they're like, haha, there's no way you can stop me. And all of a sudden, boom, like, the protagonist does something, and the villain is like, what? Impossible! But how?
Yeah,
and then there's all...
every episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, then suddenly there's like the side side character like just explaining the entire context of what exactly happened, and that'll be the Nuisha. Just basically, he came up with something, and like all the other werewolves are just going to explain what exactly happened.
and after all, Coyote is this super powerful totem that's hiding his power.
Exactly, right? Because he is not a jackling. That totem is not a jackling at all.
He's got how many different faces? Like 9 different identities, and each one is a standalone totem.
Right.
So, and he pretty much forced himself into Luna's home and says, "Hey, I live here now," and Luna just can't get him to leave.
Well, she asked for it. She was bitching and complaining. I don't have any friends. Okay, fine.
Now you have a friend, and now he won't ever leave you alone. Okay, so by default, I guess the Nuisha have committed no atrocities. So therefore, objectively, they're the best. But does being a universally good person make you a hero, so to speak?
No.
Nope.
Alright. So, Edin, what do you think is the hero?
Glass Walkers?
Glass Walkers. Explain.
Basically, they want wolves to be part of human society. They're making them into pets.
Well, that would be good to not deal with delirium anymore. I can finally walk around the house in cross form with the windows open and nobody's going to say anything.
Yep. They're the one tribe that really wants to be cuddly with the humans overall. They want to integrate with human society. They want to advance all the tribes.
There is just one massive issue behind it, and that's their devil deal with the Weaver. and how
Here's the,
yeah,
but I
Weaver
mean, like,
ascending. Like what? What you thinking about? You got
well,
a thought, Dan.
I'm thinking that all of the werewolves have just good intentions. They're just all going about it the wrong way.
Are you sure
So
about that when the Shadow Lords exist?
even yes, especially the Shadow Lords. Yeah, I think they want to be. I think they want to actually save Gaia, but I think but the way they go about it is by thinking that they're the ones that should be in power.
The
Oh, I was thinking
90s
they want to be in
anti-hero.
power. I was thinking they want to be power, therefore, in order to be in power, they have to save Gaia, or else they're dead anyways.
Is that they want all the power to be funneled into Grandfather Thunder, the great fascist in the sky.
Yep.
And then with their big god, they're going to enforce this gigantic theocracy that will force everything that isn't them under their heel.
Yep.
And yeah, you'll have peace. I mean, it's the same way Doctor Doom has peace in his own country. But what exactly is the quality of life under the Shadow Lords? Is everyone really happy? Can I really do my own thing? Can I pursue my own individuality? I don't think I can under the Shadow Lords.
The thing is, if their pursuit of if what they wanted was power, and then Gaia, then they would have just fell to the worm, because they don't. Because in a sense, isn't gaining more power from the worm actually more effective?
They do in Apocalypse. They'll even change
In
their
one
name to this.
scenario.
Yeah,
In one scenario, okay.
Yeah,
I think Glasswalkers have them beat. Just look at that party with the kinfolk and all the wolves and werewolves.
Because Glasswalkers, going back to them, they have made some serious progress in terms of fighting the worm. Because they finally realized with the Children of Gaia that appointing deranged, angry Aruns is not the way you're going to win this war. So they started making companies competitors to Pentax, along with lobbying groups, using their money for philanthropy, helping the wild, helping the Weaver, branching out into multiple countries, creating this massive information network, using the Giovanni to their own advantage, duping the Giovanni, and then dumping them on the side of the road when they run out of money. So they've made a ton of progress, and really, we brought this up at 3.5. They could secede from the Union if they wanted to.
I'm
The
thinking if
Glasswalkers are
they
sitting
did
pretty.
that, they'd just be scooped up by the technocracy. Just out of practicality.
It depends on what technocratic union. Iteration X, the progenitors, not really. New World Order, Syndicate, your mileage may vary. And the Void Engineers, I have no idea. Because the Void Engineers are all over the place.
I think there's a crossover with the Umbral pilots in that.
Would make sense.
Well,
saying,
here's the so I think your question of who is the hero in Werewolf the Apocalypse, I think that should be. I mean, like, what do you mean by the hero? Do you mean by the main character, or do you mean like just the ones that's actually doing the work and actually
who's the most virtuous and who's making the most progress?
You want to know what I know?
Tell us what you think, Ryan.
I think the real heroes were the friends we made along the way.
You're saying the Children of Gaia.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have said that too, but I think he wants like a one word answers, or like a one tribe answer or something like that.
Obviously, the Get.
Get of Fenris, because
whenever there's an issue, they come in and fucking save. They save the Fianna. They saved all these other people.
They kicked Odin's ass. They kicked Wotan's ass. They've gone in and saved the world how many times almost by themselves? Just time and time again. You don't mess with the Get of Fenris. You go to war with the Get of Fenris, you lose every time. Unless you're the Wendigo or the Black Furies. Then you're able to pull a small victory.
I just want to say the world wouldn't have needed saving if everyone just went with the Glasswalker plan for humanity, pre-Impergium. Just kill all the humans except the kinfolk. Make sure you're active in their lives. Just be like they are right now.
Wasn't that the Red Talon's plan, though?
Yeah, the Red Talons were kill every human. Glasswalkers were like, no, just kill everyone that's not a kinfolk, and then just be involved with the kinfolk's lives.
You'll eventually run out of kinfolk at the end of the day if you don't create a sustainable, expanding gene pool where you end up like the Swordfangs.
There are wolf kinfolk, you know. I mean, like, you have to be able to protect the wolves as well.
I mean, from their own perspective, the Red Talons are the heroes from their own point of view. Because after all, they say that the greatest asset of the worm is humanity. So therefore, by destroying humanity, you would rob the worm of its greatest weapon. And if the world was such a paradise before humanity, wouldn't the Red Talons be doing something right?
I have to disagree with humanity being the weapon of the worm, or greatest. It's the Garu. They have a piece of the worm literally inside of them in the form of rage.
Yeah, that's what rage is. You have to use the tools of the worm to fight the worm.
Like, I'm just thinking about this. If there weren't humans...
I thought Luna gave Werewolf their rage.
Yeah,
the auspices.
When I hear that, I'm thinking I want to go out and get all the worm banes and fight the worm.
Yeah, just get the worm to self-destruct at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I just feel like without humanity, the worm would have just went to the Garu and started teaching them how to wreck stuff.
That would.
I mean,
that would.
If there was no humanity, the Weaver would just try to like make another species intelligent. We would have a planet of the apes. That's all.
After all, you do have the backup plan with the Curl, the squid monsters beneath the ocean that the Rorkia are fighting.
I mean, if it wasn't the humans, it would have been another species. So.
Right, I'm just saying it would have been the Garu, because they already have a piece of the worm inside of them.
If I'm to throw my hat in the ring and say who would be the most heroic of all the changing breeds and tribes in Werewolf the Apocalypse, I would give my honest answer, and I would say it would be the Macaulay.
Wait, we're not limited to just tribes?
Not just tribes, I would say Macaulay.
I was going to say the Gural.
Because the babies, the baby bears...
Hey, they're literally going out all by themselves and doing the best they can.
Let's see, with their little bonnets and their little rattles in one hand.
The thing is, the problem with the Gural is they have a lot of power and they have a lot of potential to help humanity, but they refuse to do anything about it.
They're just pussies at the end of the day, but they are sweet people.
It's the good man who refuses to do nothing.
Yeah, I think I brought up in our girl episode the movie Speak No Evil, where if you choose not to decide, you still made a choice. If you can't be capable of great violence, you're not a pacifist, you're harmless. And that's what the girl choose to be. They choose to be harmless. They could be fantastic people. They could save the world. But because of just how scared they are of their own strength and own power, they just refuse to do it. Which is why I would say that objectively the Macaulay would be the heroes of the story. It's that...
if you think about it, if they did go crazy, would anyone be able to stop them? That's the thing.
The girl? The necromancer bears?
Yeah.
After all, you just have the cure for death with the girl. Nobody has to die. You just need to make sure you got that ritual right and you cleanse the land of the worm.
Maybe it's a good thing that they are pussies, because if they weren't, then they would be unstoppable.
What if they fell to the worm? They just kill someone and then raise them as a...
You combine the Giovanni with a changing breed, and you would get the Ghostbusters movie, but with bears. At the end of the day. The reason I think it's the Macaulay is that before the worm destroyed the world for the first time with the meteor, they already had a functioning society with the Dragon Kings. And you had fighting, you had death and destruction with the Dragon Kings. But they had everything sorted out. You teamed up with what tribe you want to align yourself with. And that's how you lived your life. And sure, might made right, the weak would stay weak, but at the same time, you don't have to stay weak. If you wanted to rise up and become strong, you could do so and claim your own footing in the world of the Dragon Kings. But now with the modern Macaulay, their whole ethos is we need to see the world, we need to share what we know about the world, we need to collect wisdom because there might not be anyone else to pass on what we know. You've combined my favorite aspects of the Paladin, where it's the warrior poet, the historian, and the warrior all into one. World might be lost, but we can at least try to enlighten and bring as many people into not quite ascension, but as close as you could get to a shining city on the hill before the end comes. I mean, it's the apocalypse. It's going to happen no matter how hard you try to stop it. So at least the Macaulay are trying to make the lives of people better, but they just lack the resources or the power to really make the same level of progress as, say, the Glasswalkers. If we were talking about tribes, on the other hand, it's a bit of a point of contention, but I would say the Fianna, actually, if it came to tribes. Because I honestly don't have a bad thing to say about the Fianna in terms of morals. They only have one massive drawback, and that's their close alignment with the Fae. That includes the Unseelie and the Shadow Courts, who are responsible for a lot of heinous acts. But the Fianna, with their lust for life and their love of humanity, yeah, there's a lot of good things about the Fianna where there's nothing wrong with them themselves. It's just the people they associate themselves with. Where it's the friend who doesn't want to say goodbye. You can't bring yourself to cut a toxic person out of your life. They do that with they did that with the changelings. They do that with the Verbena. They can't say no to either one of them. Therefore, you have somebody who's just a little too nice and too forgiving. Now, granted, they recognize the enemy is the worm. They're not going to mess around when it comes to the worm. They're going to take the fight to the black spirals. But at the same time, you're just a little bit too tender-hearted. But I think in terms of virtue, and I think in terms of going out there, trying your best to do the right thing, I would say in terms of tribes, it would be the Fianna.
Hot take. I got a hot take, though.
Tell me.
The Fianna are just the Toreadors of Werewolf.
Where it's the catch-all kind of option. It's we're the best, we're the most normal, quote unquote. Therefore, we attract the most players.
We are the most main character of the tribes.
I feel like Kyle's hating himself for not being here right now.
Well, we get to say strong words.
Sorry, Kyle.
You get to watch this by yourself. And what if we had a hero outside?
I want to say that I love the Fianna. Like, I think they're great. Like, but I do think great. That they, like, and when I say this for like all the werewolves have their like the vampire similarities, right? Like,
yeah, but the Silent Strikers and the Ravnos.
Or like the and the Silver Fangs, or like the Ventru, and so on. You know, like it's, but like but yeah, in terms of like how easy it is to play one, and how generic. How I don't want to say generic, but
safe.
I mean
it's a safe option.
It is kind of a safe option aside from Child of Gaia, maybe. But
the Children of Gaia, you really gotta look into the pacifism, because the Children of Gaia looks simple, but that's a very complex camp, a very very complex tribe, depending on what camp you pick.
I mean, if you're a new player, like you don't agree with it, but the majority of new players who want to play a werewolf, I think they're trying to go for like the reluctant. They want to play like a werewolf that's like reluctantly a monster, and they don't want to transform into one.
Compare that with Ryan, who wanted to play a monster from the get-go.
Yep.
He created Grim.
Yep. Grim was my brain baby.
So I remember Ryan came up to me and Ryan came up to me and said, "Which one of these werewolves is the best?" I said, "Get of Fenris," and then boom, he immediately knew what he was going to play.
I mean, yeah, if you want to play werewolf because you want to roll a shit ton of dice, go ahead and play Get of Fenris. And yeah, I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I would, but like in terms of virtuous, like there's virtue, but there's also, do they get shit done, and how much baggage they actually have. Because in terms of virtue, Silent Striders seem to have less baggage, but I'm not sure if they actually get a lot of shit done.
Well, they killed Set, an antediluvian, a demigod.
They sealed Set away.
He ain't coming back. He's gone for good.
He's coming back.
It's superstition. Gehenna's not going to happen.
He is coming back. You're just a non-believer.
The apocalypse will, but Gehenna won't.
Look, it
Why
says
don't
so
have Diana be the apocalypse?
in the book.
It
In the
could.
book, it says he comes back. He's like this gigantic worm thing, and the Sound Striders are going to be the ones that fall to the worm, and everybody else has to actually stop Set.
You don't have to worry about that. He gets one shot by Salat in the Gehenna book.
Look. Just because Set is dead in your apocalypse scenario doesn't mean that he's not dead in my scenario. Okay.
We have a Salat. We're safe. Just find Salat, remind him he's a good person, and then you're fine. Just remind Jesus why he's Jesus. But yeah, in terms of carrying the Guru Nation, the Snot Stars are up there because if you want a tribe that doesn't get credit for all the good things they do, that would be the Snot Striders. Considering, I don't know, the amount of wars and the amount of battles and the amount of losses they've had, and they don't want the credit for it. They just want to know that the job got done.
But what do you think about this? Stargazers as the heroes.
You did solve a lot of enigmas. You did decide how the Weaver got bound the worm. You did figure out the Tradic worm. You did find out how the apocalypse was going to happen. You did decipher Wormwood. But you don't do anything anymore. You just sit in Tibet and wait to die. Because
you're the same as the Garol.
Yeah, you could have done something. You could have done anything. You could have partnered up with Macaulay and helped them rise to power. The Stargazers could have been heroes if they just didn't lean so deeply into their theocracy with Clytol.
That's the thing about heroes, though. If a hero does his job right, then nothing needs to be done. There's no need.
Keep saying them.
Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. There's no need for heroes if the heroes has done his job.
Given that you did decide how the apocalypse was going to happen, so the Stargazers did give us all the answers, but the Stargazers need to do something about it, besides creating the Ouroborans and willingly siding with the worm and taking the worm as your totem. I keep mixing these names up. The Stargazers are always going to be the hero that should have saved the world but refused the call, to me. That you could have been the ones to save the world, but your own fear of failure and your own misery prevented you from doing so.
Right, but here's the thing. What should the hero be doing? Right?
The hero should be going out, fighting the worm and getting accomplishments, and doing so for a good reason. Right,
but is it always the big battles and fighting of evil that keeps like the darkness at bay? You know, like
I think I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like the little things in life that actually keeps the darkness at bay, like helping out your neighbors, keep it like making sure your community is well intact. You know, it's the small heroes.
Trash cannon Nanga Bone. The Bonars.
What's that?
The Bonars, right?
Bonars, or even the Children of Gaia.
Oh,
I have to disagree. Glasswalkers in the bog standard Ragnarok scenario are the ones that tried to save the entirety of humanity and every single person they can.
They did have Peter Ward too. The Glasswalkers do have him. But at the same time, he who watches the watchers. So I guess it would be if we're going with Glasswalkers, it'll be a yes and, where it would be the Glasswalkers and the Bonars making sure they stay in check. Given how, we can see how the hero betrays himself with the Silverfangs, where you have one accomplishment. You say you saved the world during the primordial times, and yet you use that one accomplishment to justify everything you do. We don't want the Glasswalkers going down the same dark road the Silverfangs did. So somebody has to remind them that this is what you were in the past. You need to stay this in the past for people in the future.
The heroes of Werewolf honestly kind of died a long time ago, because
or there weren't any heroes to begin with.
Oh, talking about the Croatan.
Oh, the Croat. Oh, well. Okay, now that you say that, okay, we can finish the video with this, the Croatan. All right, now it's
there we go.
The Croatan.
Black
Thank you guys
dances.
for joining us. Have a good night.
Okay, well, let's actually explain what the Croatan did, because nobody in the Guru Nation has a single bad thing to say about the Croatan when it came to fighting Set and killing Set is one thing, but taking on a face of the Treadic worm and at kind of sort of winning, it's more of a stalemate, but you accomplished something in banishing the consumption worm. That's a massive accomplishment.
They are the goodest of boys.
Because after all, it was their destiny. They had that prophetic vision from Gaia, where you're going to be the ones to be in Roanoke, and you will take on the consumption worm when he appears. That's what your destiny was.
Your earlier scenario where the White Howlers didn't fall, wouldn't that mean the Croatan would have fallen?
See, that could be the case where the consumption worm consumes the Croatan. That would be nasty, because then the consumption worms loosen the material plane.
Oh yeah, like in the attempt to sacrifice themselves, instead they get corrupted in the process. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, what the Children of Gaia did in the apocalypse scenario.
I mean, that's basically the White Howlers, though. They tried facing on the entirety of the worm inside of Malpheus, not on the material plane, and they got corrupted because of it.
Yeah, depending on what story you read.
We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, because you do have the story about the White Howlers going in and fighting the worm face to face to save their ancestors. You also have the story about them signing a devil deal because they realized that there was no way of winning and no way of going back to their past life. So depending on who you're listening to, depending on who's telling the story, it could be the White Howlers.
Yeah, or the White Howlers were tricked by a very jealous vampire. In my case,
with your Aramain, right?
Doesn't the book say, like, there's speculation a whole bunch of them just got dominated into summoning the worm into their cairns?
The Ventru were present in Scotland around that time. So,
I mean, like it was Rome, right? So
yeah, the Ventru brainchild nation. So yeah, that could have been the Ventru's fault. Gotta love the Blue Bloods, right?
How often do the Ventru think of the Roman Empire?
A bunch, because Mithras was a Roman general or a god they prayed to?
Yeah. Who has caused more damage in the World of Darkness, the Ventru or the La Sombra?
Ventru.
Yeah. Sombra, maybe?
At least the La Sombra have been acting kind of non-wormish when they infiltrated the church, making people fear wormish activity, fearing God to punish them if they did so.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have another possibility of who the heroes of Werewolf are.
All right, tell me.
The Rokea.
Given all the shit they're doing that nobody knows about, we don't know how hard the Rokea are fighting. For all we know, the Calamity Worm or the Fowler Worm is down there, and they're holding them back. And that's why a nuke had to be dropped on the Rokea to put them at bay. So because we will never know the full story, it could be a tentative Rokea or the heroes. That could be it. So I think, in terms of tribes, it would be the Croatan. In terms of breeds, it would be the Rokea.
Because like the Rokea, like they haven't changed a lot of what their job is for like millennia and thousands of years.
Yeah,
like
just
they keep
fight
doing
the
what
worm
they're doing.
and don't die.
And they've been, exactly. Like nothing has stopped them from doing that thing over and over again. It's kind of it's kind of
their shtick. Yeah,
it's kind of enduring, but it's also kind of really like nothing new. I mean,
well, given that 75% of them died, you're clutching onto your life the best you can. I don't think you're in a spot where you can rebuild yet.
A question: have you read Blood Dimmed Tides?
I've taken a peek at it. I've not finished it.
Okay, because I think it has some Rokea stuff in there.
Yeah, because the Rokea needs some love in World Darkness, but they'll never get it. We can't. In terms of World of the Apocalypse 5th edition, all the tribes equally, because all the tribes are the exact same.
It's no longer a tribe; it's just a role you choose.
Yeah, it's just every werewolf is now the same, and you're all the same person with the same face and same tribe name and same totem, and everything about you is the same.
And you don't, and nothing.
Well, not literally, just everything's interchangeable.
And there's nothing bad about you because you all are just dumb activists.
Yep, we went to ChatGPT and got him to read 100 Tumblr fanfics and then had him write the game for us. And there we go. That's how you get tabletops made. How many copies does a tabletop game need to sell? Like 2 books for it to be considered a success? Is that all you need to do?
I don't know.
All right. We have gone on for 30 minutes with this, so I think we have a conclusion.
All right.
It's
But weren't you going to talk
the
about like, the white?
Glasswalkers.
I
What was
think
I
you were
gonna
going to
say?
talk about. Weren't you going to talk about the White Howlers?
Well, we are going to say that, but this is the pre-show for that video.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what if we had a hero that wasn't a werewolf and wasn't a changing breed? That he was something else. But
Bohemian?
but no, I was going to say the Kuei Jin for a minute.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kane.
Kane wants to be good, but he's never going to be. I mean, he can't outrun himself. But the Kuei Jin, back when they were the Wan Xian, were the heroes. They just, lost themselves in their own success, much like the Silver Fangs did. But until the War of Shame, you still had straight up Wan Xian who were helping the Makole. And they were holding China together. And it was with the War of Shame and the Yama Kings seizing control of the Wan Xian, making them all Kuei Jin, that you lost China to the worm. And now China is the worst possible place you could live. I love modern day geopolitics. All right, just saying that is going to put some sort of like watch list on YouTube or something like that. I don't know.
They're probably just going to be ranked in the algorithm just for Brent.
Yeah, I ain't adding any of this out. I'm leaving this all in. All right, I'm going to end the video before one of you says a racial slur after I said that.
I think no matter what we decide, the Glasswalkers are just going to hack this video and edit it to say the Glasswalkers were the best.
The iteration X was the best. There it is. If you disagree, you'll be sent to a re-education camp. And that's it for this video. So, yeah, we'll do all the hug and kiss my ass stuff at the end of a video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, give me money. Only ever send me money. My PayPal's in the description down below.
And just smack.
Mine is 2.
Yeah, mine is 2. And give me $100, give Ryan $100. If it's anything less than that, I'm just going to send you some hate mail and dox you.
Yo, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
All right, that's the end of this video. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.